Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Clint Neal. For those of you that are new to my channel, I'm primarily in fitness, health and wellness, and martial arts. And today's video is about the myths versus facts of fat loss. Not to be confused with just weight loss, but when it comes to losing body fat. Now I'm going to cover the 5 that bother me the most, and I know this first one is one that bothers a lot of my coworkers and a lot of fitness professionals over the year, and that is simply the fact that doing abs gets rid of belly fat. No, not even close. That is definitely a myth. The reason why is, besides the fact that it makes no sense whatsoever, you have to be in a caloric deficit to lose body fat. How is doing abs going to create a caloric deficit? Some of you might be thinking, well, it burns calories. True, but your body dictates where those calories are used up, meaning where your body gets rid of the body fat. For some people, they hold it more here, more in the arms, legs, lower back, their abs, obliques. So depending on your body style and whether you're male or female dictates where you hold more fat and where your body decides to get rid of it at its own pace. You can't spot reduce. That's already been proven many decades ago, but for whatever reason, 99% of Americans want to believe it still. So there's no such thing. And not to mention, like I said, it doesn't make any sense. For example, I always ask people, well, what if I had fat fingers? Because big people have big hands. So this makes sense. I'm doing finger crunches. What's the difference between that and a regular crunch? Nothing conceptually. So if it makes sense to people doing abs by crunching, then doing finger crunches, or if I had multiple chins, doing neck crunches, that's going to get rid of neck fat. People look at me weird when I say that, but they look at me weird because it doesn't make any sense. Yet somehow this makes sense to them. Okay, whatever, but it's not going to work. So if you get frustrated, not changing your diet and focusing on abs to get rid of ab fat, that's why you're getting frustrated. It doesn't work that way. So I'm not going to linger too much on that one. So I hope you understand that one, and please, gotta work the whole body. Anyway, on to the next one. Number 2 is cardio is king for fat loss. No, not even close. It can be a contributing factor that can help burn more calories and can help push you in a caloric deficit. But nutrition is key, because even those that want to lift weights, those that want to do cardio, those who want to do cardio and lift weights and then skip the diet are going to be extremely frustrated because they're leaving a huge important part of losing body fat, the nutrition. That's the king, not cardio. A lot of people don't want to focus on nutrition, and I'll talk about that's one of the other ones. But anyway, cardio is king is a myth. Nutrition is the king to getting rid of body fat and losing weight in general. You gotta eat well, gotta eat well, gotta eat well. Okay? Number 3, lifting weights is very important for fat loss. Fact or myth? Fact. It's very important. I know tons of people that have focused on their eating, which is good, very important, as I said before, then did cardio. They still struggled reaching the body fat levels that they wanted to because they missed out on the weights. I had to bang them over the head to get them to do it. They finally did it, and guess what? They were successful. Now, granted, this mathematical equation is not accurate, but just to get my point across, if cardio was 1/3, weights 1/3, and nutrition 1/3, then each part is important. And if you take away one, then that means a whole 1/3 is gone, which means you're only doing 2/3. Well, 2/3 is 66%. So what if you were in school and got a 66 on a test? That's a D. That's not a good score. So you have to do all 3 to be successful. Now, of course, in my opinion, nutrition is most important, then weights, then cardio. Because I've seen plenty of times where people not necessarily skip cardio, but don't put a high value on it. And then they're still successful when they do the weight training and the nutrition, and they still get to the body fat levels they want. Whereas the other way, when you do cardio and nutrition and you skip the weights, they get really frustrated. Or even worse, and most frustrating for people, is when they are good with the weights, are good with the cardio, and then don't eat well, they get extremely frustrating because the old-fashioned mentality that you could out-exercise a bad diet is very old-fashioned and inaccurate, because just because you burn extra calories doesn't mean you're going to be successful if you just eat, or eat the wrong kinds of foods. Okay, tying in with number 3 is number 4, and that is eating right is very important. Now, for those of us in the fitness industry, that's a no-brainer. You're probably looking at me thinking, well, duh, of course eating is important. However, going back to number 3, and tying in with number 4, eating is extremely important and is the king of all this fat loss and being successful with that. Like I said, I know tons of people that exercise extra so they can enjoy a hamburger or the bad foods that they enjoy. Because, once again, for a lot of people, food is more than nutrition. They've made it into an emotional thing or a mental thing where they just get super excited, or they use it as a stress reliever, so they go out and do more cardio or more weights or whatever to try to counteract the bad negative calories. The problem with that is it is going to hinder your goal in your body fat loss goal, but also by doing more and more physical activity, you increase your risk of injury. Especially as we get older, you got to work smarter, not necessarily harder. Although hard work is good, and working and busting your butt is good, you still want to avoid unnecessary injuries, particularly overuse injuries if you could help it. And proper nutrition is also important for healing your body when you do work hard. So if you fill it full of garbage, it's going to kind of perform in a garbage way. And it's going to heal in a garbage way. So you don't want to do that. Okay. The 5th one, and not the most important, but it is important. And it's certainly not just these 5 that I've made up. Well, not make up, but on my list of importance is consistency. Both with the cardio that you choose to do, the weights that you do, and the eating. Now, when I say consistency, in this particular list, I refer more to the nutrition. Now, I know a lot of people like to add cheat days. Well, part of that is because, once again, that mentality that food is above and beyond the physical part, that it's some kind of emotional, they eat when they're anxious, eat when they're happy, eat when they're sad, eat to celebrate, eat because it's a football game, eat because there's a hockey game, eat, I'm watching TV or watching a movie, time to eat. That's a mental thing. That's not a physical thing, because unless you're homeless, and that's unfortunate, but people like that, they're in need of food. So I get it when they're like, ooh, I get all excited about eating because I haven't eaten since yesterday. Yes. I'm talking about those of us that aren't in that unfortunate circumstance where we could pretty much eat anytime we want to. So if it's 4 p.m. and you've already had 4 meals during the day, and then you claim to be hungry, or you're eating because you're celebrating something, it's like, yeah, once again, you've made that an emotional thing. And yes, a lot of people do it, but it's not overall healthy. And disclaimer, I'm not a mental health professional, but I see a lot of people get in trouble and have problems with their weight, have problems financially because they put food in this category where it doesn't belong. It's simply like your phone, like this chair I'm on. Food is things you could touch. Emotions, thoughts, ideas, those are things you can't touch. So a solid or concrete, or a thought which is abstract, once again, junior high school science, they can't meet and be the same thing simultaneously. So food is not love, food is not happiness, food is not joy. Those are things that people do feel for that, but that's something that they did up here. Doesn't mean they're crazy, I'm not saying that, but if they attach that emotion to food, then they're going to struggle with their weight loss or fat loss goals. So the consistency I'm referring to really has to do with, at least until you finish or reach your goal, try not to cheat at all. Now, once you reach your fat loss goal and you want to maintain that, you could add a couple of the things that you enjoy, but once again, just try not to get too emotional about it, but just try to add minimal things, because when you do feel good and you have reached your goal, it's important to try to stay there. I mean, after all, you've worked hard to get there. Now, if you're a competitive bodybuilder or fitness person and you're ultra low, well, that's extremely more difficult to get to. Requires a whole nother level of conditioning and mental discipline, and is above anything I've even come close to trying to do. Those men and women are just amazing at accomplishing that. In that case, you can't have your cheat days. You can't. If you want to stay down there for a length of time, it's extremely difficult. So kudos for them that they can do it, but it becomes even more difficult to have your cheat days. So that was this video about the top 5, my personal top 5 facts versus myths on fat loss. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. If it was helpful, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and thumbs up, and make any comments or have any questions, or if you have something that you could add to that. Like I said, there's lots of them that could fit on the list. I just wanted to do my personal top 5, and enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.